Hello guys, how are you? I hope that you are doing good. And today we will study active and passive voice. We will study how active voice is converted into passive voice. And there are certain rules which we will see in the next slide. As we all know, there are two kinds of verb, transitive verb and intransitive verb. Transitive verb has an object, whereas intransitive verb do not have an object. And for conversion from active to passive, we need an object. So, transitive verb can only be transformed into passive voice. Intransitive verb cannot be transformed into passive voice. The other important rule is future continuous tense and all the perfect continuous tense such as present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, as well as future continuous tense cannot be converted into passive form. If a sentence has two objects, then we can convert two passive form of that sentence. So to convert a sentence from active to its passive form, first we must be aware of its structure. As we can see in the screen, there is a sentence. Ramu plays cricket. In the sentence, Ramu is the subject, plays is the verb, and object is cricket. For converting it into passive form, we have to interchange its position. Object will come first, then will come verb, and at the last, the subject of the sentence will be there. For example, cricket is played by Ramu. This is the passive form of Ramu plays cricket. Now, we have to keep in mind that if in the active sentence there is a base form of the verb is used, then in the passive form we use the past participle or V3 of the verb. If you want to know more about the verb, you can see my video on tense, which was my last video. Then you may get more knowledge about all the form of verbs. And at last, the fourth rule is that the sentence which is in the passive form is has words like by, with, to, which is just used before the subject. So these are the basic rules to convert a sentence from active to passive. There is also change in pronouns, such as if in active voice we use I, we have to use me in the passive form. In the same way, we becomes us, you remains unchanged. He becomes him, she becomes her, they become them, and it also remains unchanged. You can see the table and you can also see the examples. By example, it is quite clear that how we can use pronoun while changing a sentence from active to passive. There are some rules for converting a sentence from active to passive. And in case of tenses, a simple present tense can be converted into its passive form by using am or is or either are plus V3. For example, if a sentence is she writes a letter, then its passive form would be a letter is written by her. As you can see in the sentence, we have used written, which is verb's third form, and there is also addition of is. If we talk about present continuous tense, then if we have to convert a sentence to its passive form, then we have to use words like is MR plus being plus V3. A sentence which is in present continuous such as he is repairing the car. The passive form of this sentence would be the car is being repaired by him. And the last is present perfect. If we want to change the present perfect tense into its passive form, we have to use has, have plus been plus V3. For example, they have completed the work. This sentence is in present perfect, so its passive form would be the work has been completed by them. Now we go into the world of past. And talking about past tense, we have first simple past. For converting an active sentence of simple past into passive form, we have to use was, were plus verb's third form. For example, she cleaned the room is in simple past. To convert it into passive voice, we have to use was plus past participle. So its answer would be the room was cleaned by her. If we talk about past continuous tense, we will add was or were plus being plus verb's third form, which is also the past participle, in the passive form. For example, if the sentence is he was painting the wall, which is in past continuous tense, then its passive form would be the wall was being painted by him. And the last form is past perfect. To convert a past perfect sentence into its passive form, we have to use had plus been plus verb's third form. An example of past perfect sentence is they have solved the problem. And the passive of this sentence would be the problem had been solved by them. So let us start with future tense. The first is simple future. To convert a simple future tense into its passive form, we will have to add will plus be plus verb's third form or past participle. For example, if a sentence is she will finish the task, its passive form would be the task will be finished by her. And normally we don't convert future continuous tense into its passive form, so we omit this section. Then we have at last future perfect, and to convert a future perfect active sentence into its passive form, we have to use will plus have plus been plus verb's third form. For example, if the sentence is in active form is he will have completed the project, then its passive form would be the project will have been completed by he. So that was the last slide, and we have covered the basics of changing a sentence from active to passive. We must always keep in mind that in passive forms, the structure of the sentences get reversed. So, for example, if in active voice its structure is subject, verb, object, then in passive form its structure changes to object, verb, and subject. We usually use past participle in passive form. We have also seen in our slide third that how pronoun changes from active to passive. And I hope that your concept is a bit better than what it was before about active and passive. Hope you liked the video and subscribe to my channel Vivek Angrezi Kumar. See you soon. Bye bye.